Hello everybody. Let's display a background image in processing. First you got to download a background image. So here I've searched for one, rainy background. You can right click and say, don't say save link as, you want save image as, and double check that it's a common format like JPEG or GIF. So then once you've saved it, we have to actually put the file inside the folder where all your code is. So let's do that step. So here's my downloads folder. This is the picture I just most recently downloaded. I'm going to rename it so that it's easier to type the file name. So I'm just going to call it rain.jpg. You can copy it and then click on SRC and paste it. I believe you can also just drag it directly there. And so now I can see rain.jpg. If I double click it here, I believe it'll open inside IntelliJ. Yes, it does. So there it is. I have confirmed. So now let's go to main. In order to actually display it, you need to load the image. The image format is called pimage. You have to import pimage. I'm going to initialize it in setup. So the way that you actually load your picture from disk is this way. You can say background equals and then load image, and then you give it your file name. So my file name is rain.jpg. Notice that if you're just going to give it the name of the file, it has to be inside the source folder where the rest of your stuff is. I think. Let's just double check. Oh, well, okay. So this is going to crash if the file doesn't exist. Great. So the file does exist. I loaded it, but I'm not actually displaying it yet. So the last step is inside draw. Instead of saying, well, in addition to saying background 255, the image command is how you display an image. I give it the name of my pimage, background, and then I give it the coordinates of the upper left-hand corner where I want it to display. Okay, so this is not quite what I had in mind, because the image seems to be much larger than the window that I have created. So the window I've created is 600 by 600. So one thing you can do is, right after you download the image, you can tell it to resize to a particular size. So you might think, let's resize it to 600 by 600, but you're going to see in a second that that's less good, because the image is going to distort, because the original dimensions weren't... Oh, it didn't distort too badly, actually. But if the original dimensions were very different than what you've changed it to be, what you can do, is this going to tell me the size? Good thing I planned for this video. Hold on. Okay, yes it does. So up here, you see where it says 7,718 by 5,148. That's the actual pixel size. So what you could do is you could imagine multiplying both the width and the height by a constant, so like 1/2 or 1/3 or 1/6, and you'll get two new widths and heights, and that's what you should rescale it to be. So yeah, I guess I'm not going to do that, but you could do that. All right. So last of all, now that my background image is mostly dark, it doesn't seem appropriate anymore that my rain is displaying black, so I might want to reset the line color to be like more random grays or whites or something. The other thing that's a little bit unrealistic is the rain is falling all the way down past the roadway. So if I wanted to make this a little bit more realistic, I could try to do things like set the life of my particles so that they end more or less where they'd hit the ground. And you know, there are more or less sophisticated ways of doing that. Even better than that would be, as soon as my particle ends its life, it would be great if it replaced itself with a different particle that just did a little tiny, like, explosion of water, like a little splash on the ground there, and that would be even more realistic. Anyway, you now see how you can display a background image.